The end of the basketball season always includes good food, great drinks, even better friends. Jack Daniels has been a star player for over 150 years and is proud to be here again this year. Loud cheers for a big dunk or a toast to a timely three-pointer. Jack Daniels is best served at the center of the action. Make Jack Daniels a part of your tournament tradition by grabbing a bottle locally where fine spirits are sold. This year, take the action to another level by logging on to DraftKings and signing up for the Whiskey and Wings Challenge for your chance to win cash prizes courtesy of Jack Daniels. No purchase necessary. Drinks smooth. Draft smart. Make it count.
South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles,
touchdown,
Sixers, and Flyers.
Oh, big save by Carter Hart.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Today was the perfect example of why the NFL never sleeps. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. 2 quarterbacks futures for next season are decided today. Franchise tags placed. And what does it have to do with the Philadelphia Eagles? We'll get into all that more coming up here on 97.3 ESPN. Andy McNamara from Sportsnet is back. We gave him about 2 weeks off. We said, Andy, go enjoy your life. Do your thing for 2 weeks. But now, Andy is back. And we got a lot of stuff to get to with him on the NFL. I want to hear from what you guys have to say as well over on the text board at 609-403-0973. You can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. So if you're listening to the show, thank you for listening to us, whether it's on the app or whether it's on 97.3 ESPN FM. Man, there's so much to process what happened today. I want to start with the Russell Wilson thing because I want to clarify something I've read and heard some people say. Russell Wilson already said he did not want to come to the East Coast. He said in a separate interview that did not get a lot of publicity that he wanted to stay on the West Coast. He wanted to be in a specific situation, in a specific environment. And probably part of it has to do with his family. I'm sure that him and his wife had talked about, well, what do you want to do moving forward? So it makes sense. You know, he already laid it out there. Now, the reason why that story didn't get a lot of, publicity was because, let's be realistic, Russell Wilson eliminating multiple teams from his wish list is not a popular conversation. It's more popular to turn on lazy sports talk radio or lazy television talk, sports talk, and them say, well, what if he came to the Giants? It's like, all right, we get it. You're grabbing for low-hanging fruit. That's why nobody knew about it. Or at least the uninformed didn't know about it. Now, Russell Wilson has been traded to Denver. Apparently, this has been going on for a while. Apparently, Denver had been suing Russ for a while. And they finally got the deal done. And the deal is significant for both teams. And we'll get to how this impacts the Eagles in just a minute. Russell Wilson goes to Denver. The Seahawks get 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Drew Lock, their starting quarterback, their young quarterback. Noah Fant, their starting tight end, who's a pretty good player. And a defensive lineman, I forget his name off the top of my head. So they get a nice haul for him. But Seattle now has 2 problems to deal with. Number one, acquiring Drew Lock doesn't solve their starting quarterback situation. Because he is Drew Lock. Drew Lock was a nice, good college quarterback. He has great arm talent. He has great ability. He's a good player. He's not on the caliber of the other quarterbacks in his own division. You have Kyler Murray in the NFC West. You have Matthew Stafford, who won a Super Bowl in the NFC West. And on top of all of that, you have Trey Lance, who, if he's as good as people think he can be, he's definitely better than Drew Lock. So I'm assuming now, as Mike Gill discussed earlier in the Sports Bash, that Seattle has to draft a quarterback. So that's another domino that can change ahead of the Eagles in the draft. You know, the Eagles have 3 picks in the top 20, and if there's another team moving into the top 10 that could be looking to get a quarterback, that means another player will get pushed down the list. Another player will fall down the list and potentially get into within range for the Eagles. That's the first thing to keep in mind. I highly doubt Seattle goes into their training camp with just Drew Lock as the only potential starter. I highly doubt that. Because again, 1, he's Drew Lock. 2, Pete Carroll is 70-something years old? I think he's like 71. He turns this year. You think Pete Carroll wants to sit around and wait for a quarterback situation to figure out? Yeah, Pete Carroll, how old is he now? I think he's 70 or 78. Yeah, he turned 71 in September. Pete Carroll is not going to hang around for the next 5 years for them to figure out the quarterback situation worked out or not. I think they're going to have a quarterback competition. Although it would be ironic if Seattle went and signed Teddy Bridgewater and had Teddy compete with Drew Lock in Seattle. But I digress. So what does this mean for the Eagles? What does this mean for the NFC East? I know there are the Cowboy fans out there, Giant fans out there, Washington, your stupid name Commanders out there. What does this mean? This means that your odds of getting to the Super Bowl just went up. All of you. All 4 of you. Why is that? Number 1, look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys now arguably have the 3rd best quarterback in the conference. You add to that a defense that played very well last year, and they ran into a bad matchup in San Francisco. San Francisco was a bad matchup for them. So it was fair to assume that they were going to lose San Francisco. I picked them outright to lose San Francisco weeks ago here on GameNight on 97.3 ESPN. San Francisco presented specific problems for them. Now you take Russell Wilson in Seattle out of the equation. That's one less team you have to worry about getting into the postseason out of the NFC. And one less high-level quarterback who might be able to beat you in a big game situation. For a team like the Eagles, you made the postseason last year with arguably a very flawed roster. And a quarterback who's only played, 19 games in the NFL? 19 starts, 18 starts? If that's the case, this is an opportunity for Howie Roseman to buckle up his seatbelt and really rebuild this roster. Because if you made the postseason last year with, the limitations, shall I call them, you had on your roster previously, imagine what you can do now going into the postseason with no Brady. I mean, how many times Russell Wilson beat the Eagles in the last decade? It's ridiculous. I feel like every time Seattle plays the Eagles, they beat them. Well, Russ isn't there anymore. So without Russ in the conference, without Brady, the team that beats you in the postseason, here's an opportunity for you to say, we are going to fix our secondary. We are going to solidify our D-line. We are going to bolster our pass rush. We are going to add more depth in the draft on offense. We're going to get a legitimate veteran receiver to cross from Devonta Smith. This is the time. This is the moment. To quote the Nothing More song. So for the Eagles, this is big news for them. As I said, a player's going to drop to them in the draft that wouldn't have dropped to them previously because Seattle now has the 9th overall pick. And in free agency, you have a team in Seattle that won't be going in the free agency trying to sign maybe the same players you are. Now, what does this mean for Washington and the Giants? I think Washington is still a good football team. I think they just had a down year last year. They need some pieces to be better. I still think Ron Rivera is a good NFL coach. I think that Jack Del Rio is still a good defensive coordinator. I think if they can improve their quarterback situation and they can get more consistency from their secondary in terms of play, Washington can be dangerous. What they do with quarterback in the secondary is a concern. Now, the Eagles and Washington may be competing for the same guys in free agency. And considering the number of players out there in terms of corners and safeties, there may be some, crossover when it comes to pursuit. But Washington needs a quarterback desperately. And, Washington, according to reports, offered a lot to try and get Russell Wilson themselves. And from what we understand, according to reports, Wilson had no interest coming to the East Coast. Seattle turned down the deal, and they were going to do it what's best for Russ, what Russ wanted. Russ had to approve the trade. These guys like Wilson have a no trade clause for a reason, so they don't get dumped on a team that they don't want to go to. And then there's the Giants. The Giants are incredibly open-ended right now. New head coach, new GM. Is Daniel Jones the guy? Are they a team that goes out and brings in a Mitchell Trubisky to compete with Daniel Jones? Because Trubisky with Brian Daboll up in Buffalo last year. Are they a team that actually does trade Saquon Barkley and maybe reshuffle their offense a bit? Are they a team that is going to go into the draft and finally rebuild their offensive line? Because we know how bad their old line has been. The Giants are a few smart moves away from winning 4 more games than they did last year. I generally believe that. Now, I don't think Daniel Jones is some great quarterback. I don't think that Daniel Jones is, honestly, I'd probably take Taylor Heineke at this point over Daniel Jones. But I think Jones has talent, and I think with the right coaching, if he can listen and accept the coaching from Brian Daboll the same way that Josh Allen accepted and listened to the coaching for him when he was a raw prospect coming out of Wyoming, there's no reason why Jones can't get better. And if their receivers stay healthy, that's a huge problem last year. Guys like Kenny Galladay couldn't stay healthy. Sterling Shepard has never been healthy. Evan Ingram can barely stay healthy. If they can get some guys in there, whether it's their own guys or somebody else stay healthy, they can be dangerous. And if every team in the NFC East improves, you know what that means? That means you could have 2, potentially 3 teams coming out of the NFC East in the postseason. We saw with the NFC West last year with Arizona, San Francisco, and Los Angeles all going to the postseason. There's no reason why the NFC East can't have 2-3 teams come out as well. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. Get to send me your messages before we hit the break. Talk with Andy McNamara from Sportsnet coming up in about 6 minutes from now. Over on the text board at 609-403-0973. Joey D. and Ventnor chimes in and says, Josh, would you have traded all that for Russell Wilson if you were Howie? Also, it's Deshaun Watson in that area. 2 different questions, so I'll get to each one separately. One, Russell Wilson. I think you make the deal like that for Russ because you know what he is. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He has won a Super Bowl and was within basically a couple of yards of winning another. He has shown you the ability to win games, to be clutch. I think a big problem for him last year was that injury. I think he came back way too soon from that injury with his hand, and I think that affected his play. It took him until the end of the year to really come around. I think Russ can still be a great quarterback. I think Denver, the fact that their Super Bowl odds went from 2,200 to 1,200 over at Caesars and at FanDuel Sportsbook, I think it tells you a lot. I think it tells you that what Russ brings to Denver is huge. I don't think Denver's going to win the division in the AFC West, but they can certainly get into the postseason and make some noise. And with the Eagles, he would have been able to do the same thing. I think you had to consider it. Now, the problem is that I'm assuming that part of the Russ trade was that Russ said, I want to make sure I play with certain guys. So I'm assuming that Noah Fant going to Seattle was one of the guys that he was not like dead set on playing with. And I would assume that Seattle would have preferred to have Jalen Hurts in a trade than Drew Lock. So maybe in that situation, maybe it would have been better for Seattle. And maybe you don't have to give up as much. Maybe you don't have to give up 2 second-round picks if you're trading Hurts instead of Drew Lock, right? In terms of Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't give up that much for Watson. I think Watson, at least, you got to give up a first-round pick for him. The problem is now we're hearing news that Deshaun Watson, he's going to have a hearing on the charges against him on Friday. His civil cases are coming up for deposition. Speculation out there, he's going to plead the fifth in the criminal charge situation. I mean, the whole thing is a mess. So the Deshaun Watson thing, I am not entertaining it. I'm not playing along with it until we have an answer to his situation, because unless he is cleared of every charge and he is vindicated and cleared, and it's all just people chasing him for money and they were all false charges brought against him, then I'm not entertaining the idea of Deshaun Watson being traded to the Eagles. Another message coming in says another top quarterback to the AFC can't hurt the Eagles, and you're right. It's another team in front of the Eagles that could take a QB. To me, that's huge. It's huge that you have another team ahead of Philadelphia that is going to take a quarterback. I think that Washington, I don't have any inside information, but assuming what we've heard from the Senior Bowl and from the scouting combine, the reports coming out of Indianapolis, I'm assuming that either Malik Willis or Matt Corral is going to be the first quarterback drafted right now. And I think either one of those guys makes sense for what Seattle wants to do. All right, we're going to get more into this coming up next with Andy McNamara from Sportsnet. Andy is back. Coming up next on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle City. I'm Josh Hennig at Josh Hennig on Twitter.
It's Sixers basketball Thursday night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Steal by Maxey, run out. Tyree sidesteps him and twists off the board with a right hand, reverse and good.
The Sixers host the Brooklyn Nets. Coverage begins at 7:30. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
Hi, I'm Flo from Progressive. If you love the sports like me, you get annoyed with your team or player. So Progressive's going to help take your mind off your team or that player for a moment. Instead of thinking about how they lost that thing recently, think about Progressive letting you compare our direct rates side by side with competitors to easily find the lowest option. Don't worry, your sports ball team or player will get him next time. Hope this distraction from Progressive about easily comparing rates was helpful to not think about that last game or match or season. I mean, even though I love sports ball.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5510 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5510. Enjoy.
High prices don't get you a great network. A great network gets you a great network. It's why Total Wireless runs on the largest, most dependable network with nationwide 5G. And now our totally unlimited plan is just $50 a month for talk, text, and high-speed data that never run out. Get unlimited laughing, scrolling, unlimited everything. Total Wireless. Do amazing. Available at authorized dealers. Capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Total Wireless reserves the right to review your account after 60 gigs. Terms and conditions at totalwireless.com/terms.
We're out of the brand name, but we do have the generic version of
Serene's Pharmacy can't keep up with allergy season.
Who's next in line?
They need certified technicians to alleviate the headache.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for the wait. We'll have your prescription filled soon. I need some help.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With basketball season in full swing and UFC every weekend, it's time for you to experience sports betting done right at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's Atlantic City Casino and Resort. Get in on all the games you love at the FanDuel Sportsbook located right off the Atlantic City Boardwalk. The retail sportsbook features 5 betting windows, a large video wall, 20 self-service betting kiosks, and much more. Get your game face on and score big when you bet with FanDuel Sportsbook only at Bally's Atlantic City Casino and Resort. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
What a crazy NFL day, as I said at the top of the show. And to get more into it right now, he's a friend of the show. You hear him all football season long. You know he's a Browns fan. I mean, being a Browns fan, there's probably a part of him that's like, another quarterback coming to the AFC? I mean, what the heck? I mean, we'll bring him in now. No more further introduction. Andy McNamara from Sportsnet is back. We gave him a couple weeks away from us, but we had to get him back on for today because let's be realistic. This story is just absolutely insane as Andy McNamara joins us right now on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, how you doing?
Josh, I'm doing good, buddy. Yes. The another quarterback to foil my poor Browns coming to the AFC. What a trade. I think my camera also might be frozen because I'm seeing the side image and my arm is stuck out and it looks really weird.
Your audio is coming through great, though.
The picture's pretty good. It makes my biceps look pretty popping, so I'll take it. But, you know. I'm wearing my woke up feeling dangerous Baker Mayfield shirt. So maybe the camera was like, stop it, McNamara, enough.
Well, let's get to all this stuff. First of all, obviously the Russ news is massive.
Yeah.
Not just because the Broncos acquired him, but because this seems like this was set up, right? Like Russ came out in that interview and said, I don't want to go to the East Coast. Half the news outlets ignored it because it squashed different narratives and different conversation points for the people who like to grab the low-hanging fruit, right? So, right. And then in Indianapolis, Pete Carroll and John Snyder didn't overtly deny they were trading Russ, but they were basically saying, Russ, we like Russ, we're going to do what's best for the team, blah, blah, blah. So it seemed like, okay, maybe there could be a trade. But then when you see 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, a D lineman and a partridge in a pear tree, all going to Seattle, you're like, all right, that thing's real.
That's a real deal. Right? That's a blockbuster, folks. That's what you call that. You include a 5th round and a 4th round coming back the other way for whatever reason they wanted to throw that wrinkle in there. So
yeah, who knows?
Why not? Watch that 5th round pick. That'll be the one, right? That'll be the difference maker in the whole thing. But yeah, like this is a situation where we now have a ridiculously stacked AFC West. Like, Josh, we were talking, what if Aaron Rodgers came? And we chatted about it. Made no sense for Aaron Rodgers to openly choose to go to the AFC West. Because at 38, why would you put yourself through hell going through that division when you can stay in Green Bay like he did and get, $200 million and win the division until you decide to quit? Like, that made too much sense. But now Russell Wilson going over, and look at the pieces he has. I think we could argue that the Denver Broncos, while maybe not at a Super Bowl level, are certainly at a dangerous level with the wide receiver core. Sutton, you have Judy, You have Hamler. You got Williams in the backfield. And that defense is good to very good, depending if you had a little bit more. They were a quarterback away. And Josh, no matter what, there's a old lottery saying, know your limit, play within it, right? The Broncos finally realized that they don't know how to draft a quarterback. They can't do it. Paxton Lynch, come on. Drew Lock, stop it. They cannot. John Elway and that front office has an absolute blind spot. They can't do it. So what do? Well, we bought ourselves a Super Bowl last time with Peyton Manning. Let's try it again. And here we go.
It's also amazing that there's another part of this I think that gets overlooked, and that is Seattle. Like, Seattle now needs to find a quarterback. Like I was saying before you came on, Eddie, I'm guaranteeing people they're drafting a quarterback at 9. I don't think that Drew Lock is the automatic starter over there. Although it would be funny if they signed Teddy Bridgewater in free agency and had them compete for the job again. But
Drew Lock is like, no,
I just gotta wait for this guy.
Come on.
But I do think that, look, all the verbiage coming out of Indianapolis and this offseason has been so far, it looks like Malik Willis or Matt Corral are going to be one of the top 2 quarterbacks drafted. No. And if that's the case, Seattle makes a lot of sense. And if you're Pete Carroll, you're not interested in some developmental dude like, the kid from Western Kentucky, Brady Zappia, or something in like the 3rd round. If you're going to draft a quarterback, you're going to draft the top of the bin you can get, and then hope the 71-year-old coach can rile up the troops again.
Right. For one more time. That's exactly where my head jumped. And it's the only solution because, 71-year-old Pete Carroll wants to go through a rebuild. Same situation like Bruce Arians, same like Bill Belichick. They don't want to, and who can blame them? So it certainly isn't Drew Lock. That would be ridiculous to think that Drew Lock, or who's behind him, Geno Smith? The answer is not on that roster. Now, maybe they feel with the way Drew Lock ended the season, maybe he can get you a couple weeks into the year if you feel like whoever you draft isn't ready. But I'm with you. I guarantee they have fallen in love with a quarterback, the Seattle Seahawks have. And on paper, this isn't the best draft compared to other years. All depends about landing spot. So who is it? And with that extra draft capital that they have, Josh, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for Seattle to say, hey, we're at 9. Maybe our guy, maybe we got to trade up. Maybe we got to trade up to 5, 4. Who knows? You now have the draft capital to do that with this deal. So it all becomes now, who is the guy that Seattle is in love with? Who do they want?
Good question. Andy McNamara from Sportsnet joining us right here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at AndyMC81 on Twitter. Now, one other twist I'll have for you, because you and I like to have some fun conversations. The majority of the public listening to the sound of my voice may not know that the Denver Broncos are for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson obviously is going to increase the value of that sale. Does he not? Like, if you can go and say, hey, we just gave Russ a contract extension. He's 30. I mean, you just saw Tom Brady play until he's 45, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back to Green Bay, and he may play for a few more years, right? Russell Wilson playing for 5 more years makes a lot of sense. Come on in, give us a lot of money.
Absolutely. This is as much of a now football move that makes a lot of sense as it is for a business move. You're right. You're selling this team. Now, you can have a deadpan roster and you'll still sell your NFL team for $1.5 billion or more. So we're not talking about peanuts. However, you add a Russell Wilson in for the examples that you just laid out. Super Bowl champ, guy still in his prime. Really, like that finger injury was a fluke. That's not something where we're talking about a guy who's battered and bruised and he has knees and ankles. Right. Durable overall outside of that fluke finger. And so now you have Russ who can come in, who's done it, who has, I think, on paper anyway. Now, I love me some DK Metcalf, but on paper, boy, that wide receiver core in Denver is really good. Like, that is a really good looking offense. You just need the guy to put him over the top. Russell could be that guy. And from a business standpoint, that's a lot more exciting than saying, Drew Lock or somebody, don't look over there. Look at the mountains. in Denver. Yeah, look how cool it is. Now you can point to the cornerback and say, that's our guy. That's why you got to buy the team.
Now, of course, the other quarterback that came back is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But you got to think Rodgers looking around and he's like, hey, man, no Russ in here around here anymore. Jimmy G is getting traded out of San Francisco. Tom Brady retired. I mean, who's going to stop me now?
That's it, right? That's why it always made so much sense. Not even if none of what you just said happened, it still made the most sense for him to go back to Green Bay. You are walking to a division title, walking casually until you choose otherwise. You're winning the NFC North. No one is stopping you. I like Justin Fields in college. I hope he gets the training he needs to boost up and become a good NFL quarterback. But right now, that's not scaring anybody. Minnesota, come on. We know what Kirk Cousins is at this point. And the Lions, it's Jared Goff and knee biter Dan Campbell. You're guaranteed a division title. So you have that. Now you remove all those other areas. Who is stopping Aaron Rodgers? I'll tell you this, Josh. I think the only people stopping Aaron Rodgers is the horrific drafting of the Green Bay Packers. What are you doing with Jordan Love? How's that first-round pick look now? How's that first-round pick? You're going to be sitting Jordan Love if you don't trade him, who looked terrible in his one appearance.
Listen, they got to just trade Jordan Love. Just get it over with. Just trade him.
What a disaster. Like, Josh, you have that draft capital, first-round pick.
You know what they should do? They should trade Jordan Love and sign Marcus Mariota to be the backup.
Oh, yeah. Right there. Absolutely. I think that makes a ton of sense. You get him in there, then you have an actual competent guy who's done it, who can step in and be
I would say
fine.
Mitch Trubisky, but I feel like I can guarantee he's going to the Giants because
Yeah.
Brian Daboll's there. Because although it would be, how juicy would it be if it's week 18, because we're 18 weeks now, and let's say the Packers and Bears were the final week of the season, and they decided to sit Rodgers to rest him for the game, and it's Mitchell Trubisky and Packers Creed beating the Bears and Justin Fields.
Oh, man. Yeah. And I just hope, and the Packers screwed this up the last two drafts, you have another deep wide receiver core, Josh. We saw the numbers at the combine. Oh, my. Like, ridiculous. You can have, I'm calling it, it's like the choose your ice cream flavor. You're at the buffet, you're going through, you're scooping flavors, you're putting everything together. Do you want a 6-foot speedster out of Ohio State? You got two of them. You can have doubles. You can double that. Or you can have a few of the big dudes at Drake London, 6'4", 6'5". Oh, yes. Christian Watson, 6'4", out of North Dakota State. These guys, you could imagine somebody like that, one of the big 6'4" guys opposite Devontae Adams, who also just re-upped there for Aaron Rodgers. Come on. You just do it. Keep it simple, Packers. It's right there from you. But I could very easily see them say, hey, maybe A.J. Dillon needs another help. Drafting another running back would be stupid again.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with the Packers is, we know that they can't beat the 49ers, right?
No. Yeah.
So if they can just avoid the 49ers in the postseason, they got a chance. And Trey Lance being their quarterback probably helps that chance, does it not? I mean, look, I'm not guaranteeing the Packers win the Super Bowl, but I am guaranteeing that you lost Tom Brady, you lost Russell Wilson, Jimmy G's going somewhere else. I feel pretty confident saying that the number 2 quarterback in the NFC now is Matthew Stafford. And it's only because he's on the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Kyler Murray's, I think that the shine is very much off of him with the injuries mounting up. And
there's news that just came out while you're wrong. Kyler Murray apparently put all of his Cardinals pictures back up on his Instagram. So read it if you will.
Isn't that great? He's back. Little Kyler's all back and he's happy now or whatever. Like Kyler Murray's great for your fantasy football team. Love it. Real life in Cliff Kingsbury. It seems like, isn't it funny? It seems like the Cardinals, Kingsbury, Murray, they check out right at the end of like fantasy football playoffs. Like they're like, we're done. The last month of the year, done. They're out. No problem. We've done our job, and you go about your way. But yeah, like who is stopping Aaron Rodgers? And that's why, Josh, I just feel there has to be something else with Tampa Bay. Why would you sign Chris Godwin to a franchise tag? Why? if you're going to tear it down, which you could do, and no one would blame him. You could tear that thing to the studs, the defense, all the old guys, get them out, go and mail it in. There's something else cooking there. You're not going in with Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask. Impossible. Impossible, Bruce Arians. You're going to draft a guy where? You're going to draft? Where are the Bucks draft in the 20s? You're not getting anybody there.
No.
Oh, something else has got to be cooking. I don't know what, but another move has to be going down. Is it a Jimmy Garoppolo? Does he make sense in that offense? I don't think so, but maybe. Something else has got to fall, though.
I don't even know who would make. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers made sense.
Right, that's true. That's true. The only guy I can think of that might make sense, like if Tampa's got their money in like a basket right now, are they hoping that Deshaun Watson gets cleared of all the charges and that's who you're going to go get? Like, you know, we keep hearing rumors that Deshaun wants to play in Florida or wants to play for Brian Flores. Well, that makes Tampa and Pittsburgh two destinations, right? Like, I don't.
Right.
Like
and
you said,
who's going to want to pay?
Jimmy G.
And especially for that style of offense, that's not a West Coast. And with Bruce, that they want to be chucking it downfield. Chris Godwin wants to catch touchdown.
Biscuit. That's the saying,
right? Yeah, like Jimmy G record. Stats aside, if you look at the win-loss record, you can't deny it. For whatever reason, it works. But that's not the offense. You could adjust it, but then you're not utilizing your weapons the right way.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just not very exciting to me to bring that in. And Deshaun Watson, even if he is cleared of everything, is the asking price from Houston really going to stay? What was it? 3 first-round picks? Who's paying that? Who's paying that? Are Houston willing to have him sit for another year on the bench? That franchise is totally messed up, so maybe they would.
Well, it also might be out of their control. I mean, if he is found guilty or liable of anything that's being accused of him, you know the NFL is just going to suspend him for a year to get out of Houston's hands.
Yeah, as long as he didn't bet on a game. Maybe in this case he'll be suspended 2 games. Seems the more real life stuff you do in the NFL, the less you're punished. But God forbid you play FanDuel or DraftKings for a moment if you're poor Calvin Ridley.
Well, you know why he got caught, right?
Why?
So apparently he was trying to play the app, the sportsbook app, out of state initially. He was trying to play it in a state that didn't have the sportsbook legal. And then he was in Florida, and there's only one sportsbook that's legal in Florida. And apparently this was a flag, and that's part of the reason why people found out that he was doing this. And the league apparently didn't initially, they weren't initially going to be there and be like, hey, we found you, we're going to suspend you. Apparently they were like, hey, can we have a conversation? And apparently the conversation didn't go that well, it seems like, because if you saw Calvin Ridley's tweet, he goes, I only bet $1,500. I don't have a gambling problem. Like, if that's your attitude on Twitter, can you imagine what was said in the meeting?
Yeah. That must not have been a productive powwow between those two parties. Like, I don't know. It's so, and now you lose. Like, my mind automatically goes to the fantasy football side first, Josh, right? So now I'm thinking, well, there's a weapon that's gone from wherever he would have ended up again. And so now that opens up a whole other questions. I just can't stop coming back to these different quarterback situations, though, Josh. Like, Matt Ryan's going to stay put, but like, it would make so much sense to trade him. I'm just trying to put the pieces together, because something else, like Seattle, like we talked about, Seattle, the draft pick, they love somebody, so the draft pick has to go there. Tampa Bay, even if you draft one of these guys, like, what are you going to do? You're going to trade heaven and earth to move up and get Kenny Pickett, who's a glorified Derek Carr, Mac Jones, who's more mobile, a ready now guy with a low ceiling.
Right.
I don't know, Jimmy. Like, there's so many questions. So that Russell Wilson move has opened up so many what ifs that I think we're going to see in the coming days and weeks around the NFL as we lead up to free agency on the 16th.
Before I get to the Eagles, I gotta tell you what. So if anybody hasn't seen this Kyler Murray stuff on Twitter, so after the Russell Wilson trade, the Arizona Cardinals official Twitter account tweeted at Mina Kimes, ESPN NFL analyst, well known Seattle fan, you good. She tweets back at them, you good, with a picture of Kyler Murray in an Oakland A's uniform.
Oh, that's cold-blooded.
And then Kyler Murray retweets it with laughing emojis and says, stop it. And then right after that, apparently, is the timeline when he put his Cardinal stuff back up on Instagram.
That's amazing. That is savvy. That is savvy social media play. That is well done.
I mean, there's got to be a psych teacher somewhere salivating to teach this in a class at some point. The saga of Kyler Murray via social media.
What a guy, man! Like, and again,
the gift that keeps on giving.
He keeps on making stories, and it's around like. And I just think long term, like how I thought when he first came out, lots of talent, too small, and we keep seeing him get beaten up in the last couple of years, and that. I believe Jordan Davis, if I'm not mistaken, was the combine guy, Josh, who was like the 6'7" guy who 330 plus pounds, who ran the fastest ever time for a guy over 330 pounds. Like that's the type of dude and athlete that is going to be running at little zippy Kyler Murray. And if he catches you, he might inhale you before he knows where you're at. Like that's what you do. That's why you need some sort of size in the NFL. And that's why I think Kyler Murray, we're just going to see each year go down and down.
Well, the NFL offseason is just underway. We have the official league year starting next week.
Yeah.
We're about, I believe, 7 weeks from the NFL draft. So I'm sure you and I will be talking again, and maybe next time I'll be able to see you properly when you're on the show. You'll get your camera situation figured out. Before I let you go, NFL draft Las Vegas party through UFF Sports. Andy, there's only 40 spots, I'm told.
Josh, and this is, listen, we put this in privately to our group first, and I said, I had a chance to open it up publicly earlier. I said, no, I'm waiting for Josh. I'm waiting for game night. I'm waiting for the ESPN 97.3 fans to tell this because, 40 spots, NFL draft, VIP package at the Circa. For you guys who haven't been to Circa Las Vegas, they are a partner with us in UFF Sports. They own a whole bunch of franchises with us. They're putting up this package, Josh, where you get at Stadium Swim, which legitimately is like a block of screens on an outside stadium, VIP roped off area, drinks, food, then Legacy Club part of the package. You get to watch the draft. You get to be there. You get to go to the exclusive top part with Legacy Club where they have actual gold bars. I don't know why they have gold bars. They have gold bars in a spinning case. It's like Red Dead Ocean's 11. It's crazy. So there's that. There's different outings, meetings. We're having our college football fantasy franchise auction sale as well. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So if you want to learn more about it, either hit up Josh and I'll send you the details, or I'll post on Twitter and I'll tag 97.3 at AndyMC81. But it's at the draft, only 40 spots available. So you're going to want to be a part of this and get to Vegas.
Andy McNamara at AndyMC81 on Twitter. Andy, good to talk to you, my friend.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll talk soon. See ya.
Yeah, next time maybe I'll see you instead of hearing you.
Exactly. Talk to you later.
Come on,
buddy.
Andy. You're not an old man. Think of this technology.
I know. I'm seeing the picture on it. I'm frozen still with my arm. Stupid internet. Lousy Canadian internet.
I'll talk to you later.
See ya, buddy.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. We'll get back to more of your messages on the other side. Also, Flyers hockey tonight versus Vegas. You know, the Flyers are on national TV for 2 straight weeks. They're one of the 5 worst teams in the NHL, but they're back on national TV this Saturday. What are the odds of that?
It's Flyers Golden Knights tonight with Tim Saunders and Steve Coates calling all the play-by-play action on your home for Flyers hockey in South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Coverage begins at 7 p.m.
The end of the basketball season always includes good food, great drinks, even better friends. Jack Daniels has been a star player for over 150 years and is proud to be here again this year. Loud cheers for a big dunk or a toast to a timely three-pointer. Jack Daniels is best served at the center of the action. Make Jack Daniels a part of your tournament tradition by grabbing a bottle locally where fine spirits are sold. This year, take the action to another level by logging on to DraftKings and signing up for the Whiskey and Wins Challenge for your chance to win cash prizes courtesy of Jack Daniels. No purchase necessary. Drinks smooth. Draft smart. Make it count.
Hi, it's Rick. I'm at the Smith home. Where's Donnie?
Leaves and autumn bookings pile up for Rick's gutter cleaning service.
He's out? Come on.
He needs help before his bottom line gets clogged.
Okay, well, what about Cristiano? We still got 6 houses today.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
High prices don't get you a great network. A great network gets you a great network. It's why Total Wireless runs on the largest, most dependable network with nationwide 5G. And now our totally unlimited plan is just $50 a month for talk, text, and high-speed data that never run out. Get unlimited laughing, scrolling, unlimited everything. Total Wireless. Do amazing. Available at Best Buy. Capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Total Wireless reserves the right to review your account after 60 gigs. Terms and conditions at totalwireless.com/terms.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5510 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5510. Enjoy.
20,000 bonus points, 18.99% variable APR, and a $32 statement credit when you spend $200 before your dog's 8th birthday.
Credit card ads have all sorts of numbers, but they mean nothing to you if you don't get approved. So here's Credit Karma's number, 66. Like members who shop on Credit Karma get approved 66% more often than the national average. Now that's a number you can rely on. Credit Karma. Apply with Karma Confidence.
Member approval rates in 2021, 66% higher than 2020 CFPB national average.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility and save money at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your old wiper blades with a new pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10 now at O'Reilly. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. See better and drive safer with new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts, in-store or online at O'Reillyauto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/offer. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/offer. ZipRecruiter.com/offer.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So instead, we're going to have someone else say it. Because for some reason, when a random person talks about how great something is in a commercial, it's more believable.
I saved with a Progressive home and auto bundle.
And there you have it. I mean, I'm not sure why she's more believable than me, but either way, you get the point about the saving. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hey, Pete, how's business? It's great. Foot traffic's still way down, but more people are finding me online. Nice. How'd you pull that off? Well, the first thing I did was go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there were for businesses like mine. So I guess there were a lot? Yeah, there were hundreds of local searches every month. So after I saw that, they helped me position my business online to get in front of those customers. That's awesome. I wonder how many people are searching for my services around here. Well, it's quick and easy to get the answer. Plus, it's free. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com to find out. If there are a lot of searches, you should definitely get in front of them. If there aren't, no harm, no foul.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Game Night being brought to you by my friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's Atlantic City Casino and Resort. Get on all the games you love at the FanDuel Sportsbook, located right off the Atlantic City Boardwalk. The retail sportsbook features 5 betting windows, a large video wall, 20 self-service betting kiosks, and much more. Get your game face on and score big when you bet with FanDuel Sportsbook only at Bally's Atlantic City Casino and Resort. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Flyers coming up next on 97.3 ESPN FM, followed by Gonzaga versus St. Mary's for the WCC championship. Gonzaga, I think if I heard it correctly on Sportsnet last night, they've won 25 straight conference championships. But St. Mary's is good. They beat them earlier this year, so who knows? We'll see what happens. You can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN FM after the Flyers game tonight. Flyers taking on Vegas at the top of the hour. Over on the text board at 609-403-0973, Dan from EHT chimes in a couple comments and says, Legion of Boom is not going to Denver with Russ. Come on, man. Here's the thing. I think you're underselling Russell Wilson. You know, if Russell Wilson was coming to Philadelphia, you'd be all like, yeah, he's coming. Now he's going to Denver. He's not that good. Here's the thing with Russ. I understand people say that since they lost the Super Bowl, they really didn't do much. Here's what they've done. They've been to the postseason 5 times in a 7-year stretch. Not a lot of NFL teams can say that. Now, those teams haven't been very good. Seattle has done to Russell Wilson what Miami did to Dan Marino. They've basically turned to one of these franchises that is going out of its way to lean on their quarterback to do everything. Not building the offensive line, mediocre defense, poor drafting. You know, they just acquire all these draft picks. Are they going to make any good picks with any of them? I don't know. For the uninitiated, Russell Wilson is 4th in NFL history in passer rating. He is 15th all-time in passing touchdowns. And he's 26th all-time in passing yards. And he is 33 years old. Turns 34 before the end of the year. It's pretty darn good. Denver's going to the postseason. As long as Russ is healthy, book it. Now, I don't know if they're actually going to win the Super Bowl, but Denver has been a quarterback away from winning for a long time. So, you know, that idea of Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy sounds pretty good for you fantasy football players. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. I'll catch you tomorrow.